So, welcome back, everybody. We're meeting here for another horrendous preseason match for Galatasaray, and it's actually kind of like the jokes are kind of writing themselves slowly nowadays, because we're seeing the problems of this team very like loudly during the matches, during these preseason matches. And normally preseason doesn't really say anything a lot about like how the regular season is gonna go most of the time, but we're seeing this while playing most of our starting 11, especially for this match. And then towards the end of the game in the second match that we played, the last match against Monza, um, we're having a lot of problems. And we can't figure it out because we don't have the transfers we want. And it's actually very frustrating to see because it's very simple problems that our board and our coach isn't really trying to figure out. I feel like, especially the board, I would say. I'm just gonna go straight into it. I'm gonna keep this pretty quickly. I just want to get into saying we let way too much pressure on ourselves in like the first 15 minutes. We couldn't break Venezia's pressure at all. Um, Osimhen is always like an amazing player. Of course, I'm not gonna like downplay anything and like say he's a really bad player or anything like that. But he Yunus played an amazing like assist ball to him, and he still doesn't know when to exactly go for the shot immediately or when to wait to go for the shot. He tries like doing some extra stuff. Like first time shots for Osimhen is like such a rare thing to see. He barely does it. I don't know why he doesn't do it, but I feel like that would have been like an early goal already. It was in like the first 10-15 minutes of the game. And the thing about Osimhen is like he still hasn't learned how to, try to stay onside, which is very problematic because he was offside for like a good like 5 times this match, I think. A decent, like at least 5 times, I would say, off the top of my head right now. And just moving on to the midfield, like Ikai and Kanaihan, I feel like are just too weak to play in this midfield. I feel like they could definitely be some sort of backup. Kanaihan being like a 23rd, 24th man to come on to play for this team, but nothing more than that. And then Ikai being like just kind of a mediator that comes in and then just slows down the tempo of each game, and then we see what happens during the game, towards the end of a game. Like he could just come on like that, I feel like. But other than that, they don't have the tempo to play. They don't have like the physicality to really play. Torreira is also someone that's going down very physically, but he still kind of shows that he has a physicality because he wants it way more than like every other player on the team, which is really weird. And Torreira is like the only six playing in this. Kanahan's kind of a central defensive midfielder, but Torreira is the real defensive midfielder that was playing in this game, and he was showing that his physicality is lacking, but he tries at least and he works on it. And I don't know, it's just a very weak defense that the midfield got through very easily. The defense and the goalkeeper Janka was amazing, by the way. I'm gonna get into him. The defense and the goalkeeper kept complaining about it, which was it was just simple to see. They were just driving through the midfield like it was nothing. It was very, very problematic, and we need to solve this with I would say I want to go with like a center defensive center midfielder like transfer is needed. I was gonna say, but we already did Leslie Ugochukwu. I'm gonna get into him as well in a little bit when we get to the subs. I did not like him at all. I haven't really seen anything from him, and I did not like him at all this game. But I just want to go to Torreira again. Torreira seemed like he upped his playmaking this offseason and his half turns. I really like how he's receiving the ball, turning around, finding someone immediately. Playmaking. Changing the way of the play and all that type of stuff. That was very like nice to see. But outside of that, I don't know. His physicality has went down. We did see it last season with him, of course, and it's just very disappointing to see, to be honest. And then I don't really want to get into the second half. We did a lot of changes and stuff. Since this is a preseason match, we could change the whole starting lineup. Just before we get into the substitutions, I just want to say Arda Unyai was decent, but he still lacks the ball playing capabilities. He still does a lot of mistakes in trying to get out the back as a ball playing defender. But other than that, he's like trying to put his all into the team. And then Janka just saved this game from going to 10-0, which is a very disappointing thing to say because we're playing as a Venezia and we're Galatasaray. We're Champions League team that's been champions for 4 years in a row in our own league. And then when I get into the substitutions, Not gonna really get into these people right here. Niaga wants to do what Toreda's kind of doing, and he's a more physically fit Toreda, more running Toreda, in my opinion. But he still needs to get that, technicality up, and he needs to figure that out. But he is 18, 19 years old, so hopefully, when he does get a couple years playing decently, he should be able to figure that out. And then Buddish, just standard Buddish. I feel like we could have gotten more from him. He was trying a bit too hard. He missed a penalty. I don't know. It was just a really weird game, to be honest, to like comment about on everybody. And before I get into anyone else, I'm just gonna skip everybody else. I just want to go to Leslie Ugochukwu. So our transfer committee, our board, wants to go for this guy. This is the only guy we got. He's on loan with an option to buy, I think, for like 30 million, which right now we should not be exercising this loan deal, the option to buy, because this guy is going to be a liability. He, like, I can't even explain like how to say it without showing you guys, but like I'm just going to try to explain. He does all the simple stuff normally. He dribbles decently. He does passes, like straight passes that I can do normally, okay? I'm not trying to shit on him being a professional footballer, but like a simple pass, like a straight pass back to the defender, anybody could kind of do that knows how to play football. And I just feel like he does it way too many times. He doesn't take any risks, and he's way too heavy when defending. This is the worst part of his like how he plays. His defending is very, very bad. His dribbling's all right. His dribbling's okay, I'll say. That's probably his best like attribute, his dribbling. His second attribute is like, the simple passes, getting out of a press kind of passing, but not like the playmaking type passing. Just getting out of a press, getting the ball away from a dangerous area type passing is decent. I'm not going to say that's as good as his dribbling probably. But his defense is so bad. He looks way too heavy on defense. I feel like people could dribble around him like very, very easily. And the thing is, he looks at passes that are coming towards him or around him with his eyes instead of, trying to lunge at it, trying to, tackle into the ball or slide into the ball, trying to intercept it. His intercepting skills are zero. He intercepts with his eyes, and this is very problematic because, like, I know we have Lemina, but like Lemina's not going to be able to play 3 matches a week or 2 matches a week. You need to rest him every now and then. That's why he's a rotational player, and like we're not going to have a decent number 6 then. Like outside of Torreira, and Torreira we know he's regressing unless we use him as a deep lying playmaker that just plays the number 6 role the whole game. He doesn't push up at all. I'm actually happy with that, but like outside of that, like Leslie Ugochukwu isn't going to be a good fit for this team in my opinion, even the number 8 role, because he doesn't do the offensive capabilities as like a Sada where you need to take initiative in your passes. He does a simple pass back, simple side passing, and it's just very sad to see because this is the only transfer we've done and he doesn't look good at all. I hope he does something to surprise me during the season, but right now I'm saying this clearly, we should not be buying this guy at the end of the season for 30 million. This guy would be a waste of money, and I still think that the 3 million we got him for the loan is a waste of money too. We could have just used Niaga, and Niaga is what 6 or 7 million euros that we paid for him last transfer window, the winter transfer window for last season. I don't know. It's just sad to see. But anyways, I'm just gonna skip off this game. Our coach, made a statement. It's just a standard statement. He's trying to protect the board, saying that we can't make these transfers because big transfers take time. Star players take time to make transfers. People are saying, how do other teams in our league make these star transfers? Then why can't you guys do it? And that's true in my opinion. Greenwood is an amazing player. I feel like Greenwood. How did he come to Fener? How is Salah being? Excuse me. How is Salah being? What would I say? In negotiations with Besiktas right now? How is Trossard already with Besiktas, playing for Besiktas? How is Vedat Muric the first day of the transfer window or something like that? The first couple of weeks, he gets transferred in immediately for Fenerbahce. This is just all lies in my opinion, and I feel like they don't know what they're doing, and it's just problematic to see. All these players right here have been on our radar. We're following this player. We're looking at this player's you know, I don't even know how to explain it in English. Sorry, but just following a player doesn't mean you're going to sign him. And we thought we were going to get Bernardo Silva. He goes to Real Madrid for free. We thought we were going to get Monzambi. We heard about him. We were like kind of getting, shocked that, oh, this guy's playing really good for the Swiss during the World Cup and stuff like that. He goes to Aston Villa for 70 million. We talk about Saibari. Saibari goes to Bayern Munich. We talk about Joao Gomes, and I think this was a close deal. And I heard that Felipe Melo, our old Brazilian midfielder, was saying that we should be signing him, and I think he did want to come to us, but he goes to Aston Villa 40 million. Duran was another thing. I didn't really want him, and he goes to Benfica on a loan. I don't really care about that. Foden staying at Manchester City probably because his contract is renewed. Ponomarenko renewed contract. I still think we could get him on a loan, plus obligation to buy for 20-30 million, which is kind of high for him. That's why we're trying to lower that, but I feel like that's still something that can be happening. And then there's a surprising one I didn't know about. Ablin, that was on our list for a while, goes to Monaco. Just this is recently too. I didn't know about this one. And then before I close it, I did want to keep this video short. There's reports saying that Göztepe is very close to finishing off Günay Güvenç, because I think they got rid of their starting goalkeeper Mateus Lis, and they want to have a Turkish goalkeeper covering the net next season, and they want him to be a decent goalkeeper. I do think Günay Güvenç is decent, but he did regress for the past year and a half a lot after Uğurcan Çakır joined the team last season, and I think it's going to be good for him. It's going to be good for us. He needs a restart. He needs a fresh start. He needs to start playing games because he was sitting on the bench. And this is going to make, Cankat Yilmaz, which I'm going to go back to this. Cankat Yilmaz, amazing match. He's going to be, the second goalkeeper for this team. Cankat Yilmaz, didn't play an amazing Ümraniye match, but this is going to be our second goalkeeper probably, and I'm really happy with that. He's 21 years old. He's from the youth academy. And the times that Uğurcan does miss, 10 to 15 matches a year, Cankat Yilmaz is going to step in and be like a little Uğurcan for us, to be honest. And I don't think I got anything else to say that much, so I'm just going to end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Just like and sub, please, and I'm going to try making more videos for every single match and, big news about the team. So everybody have a great day. Thank you.